Hey guys, it's Francine Simone, and today I am here to talk about The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So guys, this is actually not my favorite cover. This was an Owl Crate edition, which I think is alright. I really wish that I would have had the other cover now because I got The Wicked King and I would have liked them to match. So I might later, I don't know, who knows. I'm not huge on buying the same book twice just for cover changes, and yeah, so I don't know. But let's go ahead and jump into the review. So guys, I tried reading this book a while ago when it first came out, and it just wasn't sitting well with me. I got to like 30 pages and I was like, I don't like it, and I just put it away. And I am a heavy mood reader, so, you know, at any given point in time, it could be working or snip, 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 it's dead in the water. But I don't know why I picked this up again. I just kept passing by it on the shelf, and I was like, no, actually I just kept thinking about it, and I was like, you know, let me try Cruel Prince. I think it was all the talk about it on Twitter because The Wicked King was coming out really recently, so it was just in the back of my head. And finally I was like, you know what, let me just like pick it up and see. If I don't like it, I'll just put it back on the shelf or like get rid of it. I don't know. Anyways, I sat down and started reading it and didn't stop. So I read this one at the end of January, so it's just taking me a while to get to the review of it. But let's go into it. If you're new to this channel, hey, I do reviews. I talk about the character, the plot, and the world, and I kind of sum up what I think there. So going into character, this follows the character Jude. She, for those of you who don't know, this is about a girl who lives in the fairy kingdom. Her parents were murdered by this very knight who happened to be the father of her half-sister. And because I guess he's kind of nice, after he murdered their parents, he took the children back to the fairy kingdom and raised them as his daughters. And for the most part, he's an alright dad. But like, you know, it's hard to get past that, like, he murdered their parents part. So Jude obviously doesn't forget. There's a saying in Nevernight, like, never fear, never flinch, never forget. Like, that is Jude's whole, like, life. So there will be no spoilers, but what I loved about her character, for the most part, is how dark she is. Obviously, she grew up in a world where her mother was murdered, where her parents were murdered by the man who's taking care of her. I mean, talk about Stockholm Syndrome, right? So she's constantly going back and forth between, like, is he a father, or do I just think of him as my father because he's fairly nice for a guy who murdered my parents? Like, he's not a terrible, like, person, aside from the fact that he murdered her parents. Like, he treats them just like he treats his own native, natural-born children. He takes care of them in the fairy world, which is very dangerous and anti-human. So, like, he protects them. He's taught them how to fight. He gives them an education. Like, he's overall would be considered a good father if he had not murdered her parents. Like, so she's constantly going back and forth between, like, you know, I'm getting too comfortable and fuck dude, he murdered my parents. So you can imagine what kind of person comes out of that kind of environment, right? Like, I think so often in YA we get characters who live that way and they're like so morally like fluffy, like little white clouds, and you're just like, how realistic is that? Like, where is the sociopath in this person? And Jude is like my favorite sociopath. Like, Girlfriends is a poster child for what it's like going down the road of someone who makes a lot of bad decisions for a lot of good reasons and is learning how to live with those things. Very rarely do we get characters like that in YA, and I love how dark it is and how her bad decisions or what she does isn't romanticized. It's not excused. She doesn't even excuse it, and I think that's where the problem comes in, is when characters do really bad things, either they're made to feel super guilty about it, or they like over-explain how they did it for all of the right reasons, and we're just supposed to be like, okay, yeah, it's I guess so. Like, that's where all of the love-to-hate relationships go wrong, where the guy's like chaining this girl up and dragging her around, and then he's like, I did it so that the other people would leave you alone. I was protecting you. And then she's all like, oh, okay. And it's like, bitch, no, you crazy. No, just because you do bad things for good reasons doesn't make you a good person. It makes you fucking crazy. Like, you still crazy. You're still a terrible fucking person. Like, you might be a product of your environment, and I can empathize and feel bad for you, but you're still fucking batshit crazy. And Jude was batshit crazy, and I loved her because she was like, you know, we make choices in life, and then we have to live with those choices. Fuck it. There is a scene in this book where the girl did the thing, and then she just was like, it's done, it happens. And she just swept it under the rug. And I was just like, Yes, I live for morally fucked up characters like that who just like slowly desensitize themselves to the things that they're doing that are so fucking bizarre. And like Jude was beautiful. Now on to the plot. I thought the plot was very good. It did drag a little bit in the middle where it got a little bit romancy with one of the characters, and I do understand where that went in with the plot. It just, I wasn't here for like any type of romance. I was here for crazy fucking Jude. And it worked. It was just like a few chapters and I got past it, so it was fine. But the plot overall I thought was well done. I don't really look for anything like new and twisty in YA because I'm 30 reading YA. I think this would be amazing and twisty for a YA teen. Like, you gonna be, it's popping, you gonna like it, it's go good, it's juicy, you gonna enjoy it, you gonna be like, no, you gonna be like, I saw that one episode of that one show that I can't say because it's spoiler, and you gonna be like, yes, I liked it there and I like it here. And I thought it was really well done, and I thought it was good, and I liked it, and I liked the way that she thought her way through things. Now towards the end, I did myself wonder, like, bitch, how you gonna get through this like part here? You keep going back and forth through stuff and you're not letting me know a lot of what's going on in your head. But I forgave her a bit because of the way that it ended, so I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's not super twisty, especially the older you are, you're going to be able to see, like, mentally you can deduce a lot of things because you've seen a lot of things done in a lot of different books. But for those who are new to like reading a lot of different types of fantasies, you're gonna like it and you're gonna love it and it's gonna feel good and you're gonna like it. This book will ruin you for other books that try to do what this book does. And let's talk about world. Okay, so first of all, I remember Holly Black maybe like 10 years ago when I picked up one of her first books, and it was like Lith or Type. I can't remember. But back then she was writing fairies. This woman has been writing fairies for what, 10, 11, 12 years or something like that. So if she ain't the queen of fairies by now, she should just quit. And that being said, she will always have a job because she is amazing at writing fairy lore. I don't think you can be that deep in fairy for like 10 plus years and not be an amazing beast when it comes to writing this stuff. So the world was very delicious. It was very in-depth. I loved how lush and how just like the world felt real. And honestly, I don't really think that there's much I can say about the world besides the fact that Harry Black is the queen of fairies. Like, you can't read a fairy book that's not by Holly Black and then read Holly Black's version and not think that, especially when it comes to urban fairies, because this world does sit adjacent to the human world, as like fairy worlds do, and she goes back and forth really well on that. Like, I loved all the different aspects of it. So yay for Cruel Prince. Now, as far as who I would recommend this to, like I said, especially if you're a teen reader or if you buy for teen readers, I think just about any reader who loves fantasy or who really wants to get into fantasy and loves character-driven stories will love this one. For those who are very like sensitive about bullying and who like that's like, you know, deep for them, or who really are like uncomfortable in very tense, like violently tense situations, this is probably not for you. I just told you that Jude is a sociopath, so don't go into this book being like, it's about fairies. Because you will get fucked up. It's about them fucked up fairies. The ones that are super dark, the ones that like will kill you in your sleep. I mean, literally the book starts out with her parents being murdered by the guy who goes on to be her father. So that should tell you enough. I do recommend this for more like advanced readers who've been reading YA for forever. I do think that there is still something to enjoy from this. I think as long as you don't expect to be surprised like a teen reader would be surprised by a lot of things, you'll still love it. You'll love the way that it unfolds and the way you'll love the journey that you go on. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't expect like a new journey if you've been trodden down that path for a very long time. This is the same path, beautiful setting, beautiful character to walk along. And by beautiful, I mean like beautifully dark character to walk along. And so even though it's a path well trodden, it is quite the fucking adventure. So guys, that's all I have to say about Cruel Prince. I am going to read Wicked King. It is here somewhere. Here it is. Wicked King. Like, guys, my shelves are so fucking messy. Like, I am going to read Wicked King very soon. I'm waiting till Blackathon's over. And yes, I cannot wait to see what happens next. Oh, there is something I want to leave you all with, and it's the tale. Really? The tale. That tale came out and I was like, no, why? Things got so weird for me. And if you've read Cruel Prince, you know what that means. And when you read Cruel Prince, you'll know what that means. Now, guys, with that being said, if you've read Cruel Prince and you have different feelings about it, let me know down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Why did you like it? And why did you hate it? And don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos Tuesdays at 2 and Saturdays at 10. I will see you then. Teach you well. So, time for now. Bye.